think for a couple of possible ringers here.
This is a bit tough.
Welcome to the tower. This is where we ring from. Just a safety notice before we start. Do be a little bit careful. Obviously, it's a medieval building. Health and safety was not terribly high on their priorities. Killing the French, yes. Health and safety, no. So be careful, especially when you get out on the top. The parapet is not hugely high. Just keep a hand on the children. Don't let any slip off the top. We don't want to lose anybody. Yeah, and there are lots and lots of tripping hazards wherever you go. So just be careful where you're walking. This is where we ring from. We've got 8 bells, one on the end of each of these 8 rows. When we're not using bells, we keep them with the mouths down like this. When we want to ring, we pull a little bit harder each time until we've got the bell right up like that. And every time we pull, it goes round once, and we can pause, and you get a note, and we pull again, and the bell goes round, and we get another note. And because there's not a lot of rope round the wheel from there to there, but when it goes in the other direction, it wraps rope all the way around the wheel. You get the 2 strokes. So if you've seen them ringing on the telly, but they're holding onto the fluffy bit, the sally, they pull, the wheel goes round, and the rope wraps round the wheel, so it goes up into the room above, and you're left holding onto the tail like this. So if you pull again, the wheel goes round, the bell strikes, and the rope comes off the wheel, and it comes back into this room, and you catch it with a little bit of luck, and you're ready, to ring again. So my able colleague Simon will now demonstrate by raising the 3rd. So if you watch, as Simon pulls harder and harder, so more and more of the rope goes up, and the sally goes up into the room above. Simon is very careful to let go of the sally, otherwise Simon would go up with the sally and straight through the small hole in the ceiling.
There's a children's story in that somewhere.
There is, isn't there? Yes. Why have children got flat heads? Yes. Thank you. So this bell, of course, is now up like that, but this one is down, so you can't tell them apart. So it's important not to touch the ropes, because either this one is safe. If you were to pull that one, the bell would come off and the rope would fly around. So when we start to ring, we start with the smallest bell, which is this one here. Each bell follows the one in front, and the bells get bigger and the note gets deeper. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, each bell following the one in front. And then we start to alter the order in which we ring them. So if you think, if we'd only got 3 bells, we could ring 1, 2, 3, or 3, 2, 1, or 2, 1, 3, but then we'd be back to 1, 2, 3. There's only so many different combinations you can get out of 3 numbers. But if you alter the order of the front 7 bells, which is what we often do, keeping the biggest bell marking time at the back, you can alter the order of 7 bells 5,040 times and never repeat the same combination. And if you do that, you think you're clever. Well, you are clever. So you then go off and you paint a board to tell people what you've done, and that's what these are. They've rung at least 5,000, and often the full 5,040 possible combinations, and they've done it for special events. So we've got Queen Victoria's Golden Jubilee and Queen Victoria's Diamond Jubilee, etc. This is our oldest one, of this gentleman here. You see, on Sunday the 9th of June 1776, they rang Holt's celebrated peal. You see 5,040. So that's 5,040 pulls on the rope without hesitation, repetition or deviation. You know, don't you, that you don't want Victor to be the chap who rang 5,035 times and then went wrong and everybody had to start again.
It does happen.
It does, let's do true. 5,040 Grantzer triples. Grantzer is the name of the pattern. Every pattern has got a name, and we know if we stick to the pattern, it won't repeat the combination in 3 hours, 1 minute. And of course, when they rang that, the USA was a British colony, but within less than a month, on the 4th of July 1776, they declared independence. Was it the ringing? Who knows? But anyway, so that's our oldest one, and the most recent one is the one we've got over there. On Saturday the 29th of December 2012, again, Grantzer triples, 5,040, was rung to celebrate our Queen's Diamond Jubilee. It was on the 29th of December because for the Jubilee year we started spring. We kept trying and trying, and it kept going wrong. We got about 3 days to go, and we just got it, didn't we? So we were pleased with that. If ever you want to see real bells rung by real humans, mostly real humans, you're very welcome to come and see us ring, and even have a supervised go. We ring every Tuesday night at 7:30. All you've got to do is come through the gate opposite Weatherspoons, bear slightly to the right. There's a telephone that connects with this. Just press the buzzer and say you'd like to see the ringers, and you'd be very welcome to come up and see. It's quite an experience. The tower sways very slightly, not very slightly at all. The tower sways considerably when we ring, so it's quite an experience up here.
Pictures move on the wall.
Oh yeah, on a good night we can get the model to ring on the table.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's well worth coming for that alone. What else to tell you? This part of the church was built between 1390 and 1440, so it's contemporary with the 100 Years' War, Agincourt, the burning of Joan of Arc while they were building this. When you go downstairs, the older parts of the church are the extreme ends, which are Norman with the low rounded Norman arches, and they're from about 1100. But they think that the Norman tower collapsed and destroyed the central bit of the church, and that's why we've got a sort of 1390s, 1400 steeple and tower. The clock, this is the pace of the clock. When you go upstairs, you'll see that the actual mechanism is in the room above, and the pendulum is swinging in that box there. The rods come down here, turn cogs, and that's the face that looks towards the War Memorial at the back. And the one opposite where the post office would be, you'd think would be behind that gentleman, but of course it's a lot. Yeah, you don't. Well, I never noticed that they're not actually opposite each other. Nor do they say the same time, people tell me, but it's only about a minute. By the time you walk around the churchyard, presumably you've forgotten what time it says. You can see the little hand there pointing at the two. Oh my word, try that. I think we've got the possible ringers here.
This is a bit tough. A subscription was started for this clock in Queen's Jubilee. I think it was 1887, and it was up and running by 1895. About 120 odd years old now. So it's going on a bit. Three major sections of the clock. The main section here is the part of the clock that does all the work. This is the timing section, and then you've got the quarter chimes on here and the hour chimes on there. Was originally mechanically wound. There's a handle on the back wall there, and that fitted onto one of these bars here, and here, and there was another one there. And a chappie used to have to come up every day and wind that up. It's been electrified since then. Got the motor there, and the motor there, and the motor there. This is slightly different here because we still have a weight on the end of this wire here to drive. You've got to have a constant weight to keep that in tension and drive through there. So this is the only time that when we set the clock, we can only set it by this pointer on here. The mechanism there, you've got a bevel drive here into this rod here, and that goes downstairs to those boxes you saw downstairs. You've got gearboxes downstairs as well, and then it goes out to that face and that face that side. So that's how that's transmitted down to the clock faces.
The spire is actually held on with these crossbeams and this bar that goes up the right.
Sorry, I looked up.
It's a bit of a drag. It's a little bit like looking down a deep well, to be honest.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
It makes me feel a bit dizzy.
I was going to say, it makes you a bit wibbly, doesn't
It
it?
does. The other end of this bar is the crow, the cockerel and the weather vane.
Yeah.
And it basically, it compresses the tower.
Yeah.
So that when we're ringing or when there's a strong wind, it can't move. So it all keeps it in place.
How far up can you go? Sit up.
It'll be fair enough when you
Unfortunately,
get up
you
there.
see where that louver is there, the little door?
Oh, yeah.
I think you're about there when you get out on the parapet.
I was
So,
going to
but
say it's going to seem
when you
far
go
enough.
up, hold on to something, but look up the spire.
Yeah, I will have to hold on anyway.
This is a bit tough.
Oh my word, oh my word. You try that.
I think we've got a couple of possible ringers here.